thank you for tuning in, everybody. We're starting the first cast of CPL 5. Not really. We had someone else did cast late one night, but didn't switch the scene for almost the entire cast. So it was a podcast episode, but this is gonna be the first proper where you can see all the games and everything. I'm Saetzero. I am joined by irk-Royalblue. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Fantastic. So, we got our first group that we're going to be casting, Group 18, which I believe is mostly around Tier 2 level players. From, like, just looking at the names. Or, like, people, like, maybe indecision if they're supposed to be in Tier 2 or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully we got a couple good games. I think the racial, there's one from every race, so, you know, we should be able to see a little bit of everything, which should be cool.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Alright, so we're going to get started in the first game, which I'm about to host. It's Ball versus Green, but Green's going under the name Praline, because this is definitely super streamer friendly when people use different names for no reason. But I got the game hosted up whenever you want to join.
Okay. Do I not have you on my friends list? Oh, here you go. Cool.
Okay, so we're gonna get started into this one. I do believe I'm missing a replay or two, and I think I have two copies of the same replay. So you know we'll figure it out as we go. But what we're starting with is a good old Zerg versus Protoss. We got Ball in the blue in the bottom rights. We got Praline, which is actually green in the Discord, in the purple up in the top right.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I wonder why he chose Praline for this game. Probably.
I don't know. So Sham2's in his group too. He did the same thing. He's not under his normal name because he just wants to annoy us. That's all.
Okay.
So Fighting Spirit, ZVP. Is this a matchup you're familiar with at all?
You know, I do not play either Zerg or Protoss, so I'm not too
You're
familiar
just a
with this
dirty
matchup.
Terran player.
That's
Man,
right.
why did I put you in here? Well, that's okay. It should be fun. It's good, like good, nice macro map. 4 players, so it's a little hard to be really cheesy with Protoss. So there's really nothing I'm expecting to see too weird from here. We're above that like really low level player tier where people are just not gonna have any idea what you're doing. So I'm expecting to see a lot of standard stuff in these preseason games. Because I don't know about you, but like my mentality with preseason, I'm not trying to get wins. I'm trying to like play good games. So like, what's the point in like cheesing in a preseason game, right?
Well, I got cheese in one of my games, not to spoil anything, but I think there is value in it if you consider potentially people looking at your style and trying to game plan for you. Throwing out some cheeses can be a powerful thing to do because then later on they're going to be like expecting a cheese, basically.
Yeah, if you think people are going to scout out your preseason games for like the future, that's definitely not a bad idea. We do see an early pool from a Ball. Now, the funny thing is, Praline scouted the bottom right. I checked his vision. He saw the creep, but didn't keep going in. So I don't know if he just rallied that around or didn't catch it and thought he went far enough in to see. So a little unfortunate he doesn't see the spawning pool timing. He's not seeing if there's a hatchery or lings or anything. He's really going to be in trouble if he guesses wrong what to do here. And getting a forge straight into Nexus, no cannons beforehand, which when you don't know this pool timing or don't know how many lings are being made, that can be very dangerous. But so far everything looking reasonably standard from both players. I do like that, you know, getting that early pool, let you put a little pressure on in case your opponent is trying to be a little extra greedy. Should be able to get the gateway up in time to stop this, but if the lings find out where they're going, might be able to put some pressure on. But one cannon should keep them safe.
Yeah, this is kind of a strange opening from the Protoss, but we'll see.
I mean, it's not particularly strange. It's just that...
I mean, just the pro, bro.
Yeah, I think he just thought he went further in the corner on the right and just started scouting around and went, ah, crap, I must have missed him.
Yeah.
Well, he does actually see that third hatchery very fast because of how he ends up scouting, so that's actually some decent information.
Yeah, I wonder how he'll try to take advantage of that.
This could be a problem, though. 1 cannon versus 6 lings. If you wanted to try to put pressure, might be able to, but decides not to risk it.
Yeah, that's one of those tough things in the game where you got to decide either you're all in or you're not with those 6 links. Like if you just go in and lose one like that, now you're, unable to take out that cannon. So you got to decide if do you want to just go all in right away with those 6 links.
Yeah, this is actually a little interesting from Zerg. He still hasn't taken a gas yet. So, not sure if he just wants to get a lot of links up, really get a bunch of hatcheries going beforehand, do a big macro play, and it does look like he's actually getting that 4th hatch before any gas at all.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to say this is a very big macro play. Just trying to get as many drones out there as you can and not really going for any tech.
That seems like it. Now that he killed the scouting probe that's been on the map, we might be able to see the decision, but like I said, without any gas early, there really isn't anything he's going to be able to do other than a lot of mass links, which that's just kind of going to be difficult to do because they don't have speed. So it's not like they're going to do a whole lot. We do see that the Protoss is going for a Stargate opener. Very typical that you want to get that Corsair, get some scouting information more than anything else, but also it's a little hard to play against Mutas if you just don't have any Stargate units. So I think my ZVP has gone a lot better once I started going Stargate instead of like that Citadel first or big gateway style.
Yeah, I think definitely this first Corsair could do some damage here to these Overlords without any kind of Zerg protection for them.
Yeah, like he's going to be able to get Scout in the main, and seeing such late gases, no lair, no Hydra Den, really isn't going to have to be scared of anything, but we're already rushing really fast up to these 5 hatcheries, so might be a big boom of Hydras eventually to put some good pressure on.
Oh wow, you're right. He has gone down that 5th hatchery at the 3rd base. So it's going to be... Yeah, he's definitely going for some macro here, but he's getting a colony, so maybe he's going to try to play defensive now.
I mean, you have to get at least one colony in these situations, otherwise you just send out a couple zealots, and they're going to be able to start lighting things up, but the Corsair not even going for the big scout, just immediately trying to take out an Overlord, so just wants to start getting damage done.
Yeah. I wonder if these are going to be Niduses? I mean, Spore colonies, but I guess not, right? He's getting a Hydralisk Den to try to protect his Overlords.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Spore colonies right away. He should be able to just macro out these hatcheries and build some units. We do have +1 air weapons coming out for the Corsairs, and we're already getting up to those Zealot legs as well, so Protoss really just trying to tech up, get to those good units. So if you stay on a big amount of Hydras for too long, like this tech can get right in your face and start doing some damage about it.
Yeah, he's already killed 2 Overlords so far.
Yeah, right now there's nothing holding these guys back. It's going to be a while. A couple of Hydras about to pop, but even still should be able to get a couple more kills if he's careful with them. We got a lair on the way as well. So, oh man, these Corsairs just the rudest thing.
Yeah. And Zerg is pretty badly supply blocked right now.
Yeah, this is the worst kind of situation. You definitely don't want to be doing this. I think that it was just maybe really greedy or thinking his opponent wasn't going to go for Corsairs, but they've already paid for their weight in gold between scouting information and how much Overlords they've killed. Like, we're still supply blocked right now for Wall. This is definitely not great. He's only building 1 right now, too, so he's barely going to get this fixed.
Yeah, we're going to see some Spore. There's 1.
We've got some Zealots moving across the map. Going to push into that 3rd base, which currently only has the 1 sunken, but about to have 2. Not going to be able to get things done. Switches over to the natural, see if that's going to be a better look. But meanwhile, back in the Protoss base, we do have the Temple Archives. That's finished up, so should be able to get Storm soon once you realize it's going to be a mainly Hydra force. Looking like Ball actually going for that faster Overlord move just to keep them alive a little bit more, which I think at this spot you kind of have to, but really he should be having them all turtled up in his base. We don't see any more Corsair production from Green, so it's not going to be a problem where he's just going to really slam into it. Seeing that there's no Spire units, not really investing too much further. Ooh, we got a little cheeky DT trying to swing over to the left side, but there is a Spore at the front, so that's not going to happen too much.
Yeah, maybe he'll just try to deny expansions, but he may just lose it, like you're saying. That is a lot of gateways going down for the Protoss in his main right now. So it looks like he might try some kind of 2-base pressure.
Yeah, seeming like he's gearing up for a big 2-base play rather than trying to secure his third right away. If you're looking at these defenses, the Sim City is going to be annoying to deal with, but there isn't like a lot of units or Sunkens or anything, so if he really wants to commit to attack, he might be able to just break through this. Big thing I would want to see right now from Ball is like at least get lurkers, force him to get observers, have a good fight against these zealots. But right now he's just, I don't know. He seems like indecisive about maybe what he wants to get, just really sticking off, like getting a lot of tech right now. So I think this just might all go back to maybe he waited a little too long to get the Hydra Den, like being really greedy for these hatcheries, so just slowing everything down. We do see the lurker aspect finally being started though, so hopefully he can get some kind of defense up. I'm a little surprised he hasn't actually taken that 4th base down in the lower right corner, so it's going to be hard to break through that front anyway, and if you're going to do this big macro play, you might as well take the 4th base.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, but for some reason he just wants to consolidate at the 3rd, which I don't think is necessarily a bad play, because you're just saving this expansion, and as I say that, there he is taking the expansion, but
I feel like he could have done that forever ago, though.
He could have done that this whole game, yeah, pretty much. Because he took that 3rd base so quickly.
Yeah. We do see Protoss really starting to just get up a big army. Has a normal amount of zealots that he wants. It's starting to build it into Dragoons so he can actually break through some of the SimCity and buildings. So looking like he might be gearing up for an attack reasonably soon. +2 weapons is about to finish for Protoss as well, so that might be the thing he's looking for.
Yeah, and he's going to have a lot of storms saved up on these Templars too by the time this battle starts.
Corsairs doing a little bit of harassment down at the bottom, and Ball not really reacting too much, just trying to keep his overlords by the spore colonies. The hatchery at the bottom, like finally getting started, just getting distracted, maybe off his gameplay.
I think he was just out of minerals. As you can see, the Zerg is very high on gas, but quite low on minerals.
You know, I think there's a lot of situations where like every Zerg would love to have that problem where they have too much gas. But I do wonder if this is maybe just not enough drones, given how many bases and the style he's trying to play. I'm really not sure what the drone count should be at this point in the game for this kind of play.
Yeah.
But we do see a big move out for Protoss. The big thing I'm noticing though, he's got a lot of Zealots Dragoons, but there's no observers for any of these lurkers that are morphed at the front.
Well, there's only 3, but that's enough, because once you see these lurker spikes, you're just going to want to turn around if you don't have observers.
Oh, we got a lot of damage from this DT down at the bottom too, picking up a lot of free Hydralisks right now. A little attack coming in from the Zerg, but not going to be enough to do anything to this army.
Yeah, he's just luring them into his lurkers right now, which these Dragoons are eating a lot of lurker shots, but none of them are going down yet, because Protoss is just very clanky.
He's not really reacting to this. He's got to make a decision about what he wants to do. At least storm them. Got to get them off the field. Or just move
I don't know if he
attack
even knows who is there right now. Oh, there's the observer.
Finally, we get the observer so we can start clearing these out.
Nice. Okay, now Zealots are leaking down into this bottom left base. I don't think they're going to get much done against these Sunkens over here.
I don't think they're going to get a lot done, but the main attack is definitely going to be at the front. With only a couple lurkers and this observer already here, like this isn't going to be enough to repel this force at all once you just get the attack.
All these lurkers are going to finish here, but yeah, these storms should be right on them, and the lurkers are kind of pumped up here, I would say.
Yeah, it's just there's not enough that's going to be able to fight through this. Even just with Dragoons, you probably could break through this if you want to. There's just not enough stack defense, really. He is charging all these zealots in, but they're going to get all the vision they need to actually deal with these lurkers. Now Storm's coming in to put on some damage as well. Looks like, did he lose the observer?
It looks like he did, yeah.
No, a little careless with that around the spore colony, so it has to back off the attack for now.
Yeah, this was actually a pretty sick hold from the Zerg. Like you were saying, there was a ton of Protoss, and now it doesn't seem like there is as much.
Yeah, I think that was just, like, once you lose the observer, you gotta back off there.
Yeah, and he also was, like you're saying, very aggressive with his zealots.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want to be doing, but you gotta make sure you're actually, like, killing the lurkers, like, really getting in their face and doing damage. They're kind of walking around killing buildings instead and just getting chewed alive, if they were gonna do that. Well, meanwhile, we do see Protoss Even though he has a lot of units, he's been macroing pretty good. He's still on 2 base, hasn't been looking to take that third. And as I said, I see a couple probes moving to the top side maybe to take that third.
Oh, he's gonna lose this observer too now. Oh man.
He's got another one right behind it. He's got to be a little more careful.
He should just take out these Sunkens. These Sunkens are gonna die in a few hits.
Yeah, for sure. We do have plenty of storms racked up, so if he wants to just engage into this, he should be in a good spot to do so. But I really want him to take this third. Like, this third's been delayed so long from a Protoss player. I mean, so all the buildings are killed at the front. The Sim City no longer a problem to navigate through this. So I think as long as you're careful, you should be okay. Especially given that he has like 5 Templar. They all have at least 1 storm. Like, he should be able to get through this as long as he's careful to not lose that observer.
Yeah. Well, this Zerg is holding out, and I think the longer this game goes, the more it will favor the Zerg player. What do you think?
Probably, especially since as the third gets started, Hydras get up to the top and immediately shut that down. Given how long it's been 2 base Protoss, he has to get some damage done soon. Finally going into this natural load. Looks like it should be enough to get through if he uses all of his army. He has been just sitting back doing nothing.
Wow, some storms going down.
Oh, the drones walk right through the storm. They barely get out of that alive. That could have been tragic.
Oh, and he's just storming the same spot now. He's missing these lurkers, but...
It doesn't actually see where they are, I don't think. He has the observers a little too far back to really see what's going on. But this still, like, he still has a lot of units, but Zerg catching up in supply, definitely. And Protoss gonna have to, like, figure out how he wants to clean up these attacks. He's losing too much with these, just being a little too sloppy.
Yeah, and the Zerg actually does have a lot of hatcheries in his main, too.
Definitely does, but he doesn't have a lot of units building. I have plenty of money to build things, but just not using the larva just yet. Maybe unsure of what he wants to be building right now.
Well, he's got all these lings, right, which if they were a little more upgraded, but still they can do a lot of damage to this Protoss now at this timing, I would say.
Especially as they're walking up to this third, right again as it gets finished. The can is not done yet to defend it, so this third looking like it's going to go down again. So Zerg, if nothing else, doing a good job stopping the Protoss from taking a third. Got another big owl. Lots of Zealots and Templar. Plenty of observers, too, moving across the map.
Yeah, it looks like pure Zealot.
Even though the upgrades for the Zerg aren't particularly good, all these links doing plenty of work here. Looking like they're going to take out that Nexus again. And we got back on 2 base.
Oh,
GG's
good game
out.
called by the Protoss, not even pushing in.
The amount of advantage he had, I can't believe he didn't win that game. Wow. All right. Well, good on Ball for staying in that game. That looked, I would have GG'd like early in that game. He was down like 110 supply, and then just a couple bad attacks.
Yeah, really proving you should stay in a game. I don't think Proline needed to leave at that time. It definitely was annoying getting his bases canceled, but I think he had the bigger army.
Like Protoss looks like they were heading every way. They're just too slow to take the third, and then just kept doing these attacks that were trading crazy inefficiently. But that's okay. It's the first game. We're gonna move into the next one and see how that one turns out. So let me get that one going. Okay, this one's going to be a Protoss versus Protoss between Green and Ashen. This is one of your Irk boys, right?
Yeah, I know Ashen. He was on my team last time in MCMS for CPL 4, I think.
Yeah, I remember him doing quite well last season.
Yeah, he was a great player for his tier. We'll see if he can move up to tier 2 this season.
It feels like, looking at the players in this group, he is being tested to see if he's able to move up. I did notice a lot of the good tier 3 players from last season being tested against tier 2s to see if we can elevate to that next level. I'm excited to see how it turns out. The game is up, so whenever you're ready.
Alright, I'm joining now.
Fantastic. Alright, we're getting into this one. I love that it's nice and simple with the preseason. It's all the same map, one game, same map all the time.
Yes, and of the maps, it's the most like, have you played StarCraft before? Then you must know Fighting Spirit. Like, it's very
Yeah.
beginner friendly.
It's definitely a good one to start on. So up in the upper right, we got green in the green Protoss. Thank you for making that easy. And then we got Ashen in the purple down in the bottom right. So what do you think? So I mean, everyone knows Fighting Spirit. In the beginning of this map, shouldn't unless we see a probe move out, so it's not going to be anything too interesting. What do you think about that second week being Neo Sylphid? You think that's a good choice for what might be a little beginner friendly preseason, get people warmed up?
You know, I'm really not an expert, but Neo Sylphid seems like a map I'm not too familiar with. I'm familiar with Circuit Breaker. That was when I was like playing a lot. Circuit Breaker was a big map, but I guess if they're trying to make Neo Sylphid like a big map, it's definitely been seeing a lot of action in CPL, at least from last season.
Yeah, I think it's a well-designed 3-player map. I just hate it because walling versus Zerg is just the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot figure out a good wall on that map.
Well, that's
Zerg.
that's the dangers of Protoss, right? You got to figure out all the sim cities and walls you can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you play Terran. Don't you have to deal with that a little bit too?
Yeah, I mean, if I was a good Terran player, I would wall on every map, but unfortunately, I did not do that.
Okay. Are you a 2-racks boy?
What do you mean, 2-racks? Like cheesing on Sylphid?
Yeah. Do you cheese on Sylvan?
No, I play standard, and I just died a 9-pull if they 9-pull me.
Alright, fair enough.
So what happened last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So exactly what I was expecting from both players, starting off with the dead standard opening in this matchup. You get a pylon, you get a gateway, you get your gas. The only deviation we saw is that Ashen actually cross-scouted through the middle of the map to check for a proxy. Green just assuming he's not going to get cheesed.
Yeah, I really like that crossing through the middle of the map play from Ashen, actually.
Yeah, it's something if you see proxy gates and you have to react, you gotta know early so you can adapt your build in the least out of the way possible. So that could be even just as simple as get a shield battery, or like put a second gateway down to get a couple more zealots or something. But if you don't see it coming and the zealots are in your base, you might be in trouble already.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I gotta say, do you think he saw that Green's probe moving in that direction, so he immediately knew where to do his second scout?
I mean, it seems that way.
Oh, and there goes the probe, so.
I know that feeling all too well.
StarCraft is a hard game, yeah.
Well, my scouts just, they don't stay alive. They find out where you started, and I'm sending out a second one because I know I'm losing the first one.
Hey, that's safe, right? That's a good play.
Yeah. Both players still mirroring each other dead on the money. They got one early zealot. They got the Dragoon range working from the core. They're building Dragoons out of one gateway. No one really slammed down that second one yet to be super aggressive. No one rushing for tech just yet, which I'm not expecting either player to be super quick on it. You just need a lot of stuff, so you can't skip too many steps in this matchup. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a lot of trouble. I think there's a couple times you're trying to talk and I hear like a little feedback sound. Maybe your mic's messing up a little bit.
Oh, really? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I heard you just now, yeah.
Oh, I think that's when I'm actually muting my mic.
Ah,
Hopefully. Okay. Hopefully you're not missing anything I'm saying.
Well, I wouldn't know. But we do see green with the robotics way up in the north, so far away from the ramp. Typically not something you really want to be doing with your robotics. Because the first thing you're going to be getting is you probably want to get a Reaver. And if you don't get the shuttle, like if you're taking a Reaver to take your expansion and defend, you don't want to have it crawl for 7 years to get in the fight. So we are seeing a little bit of a deviation from... Actually, no, we're not. They're both building 2 extra gateways. They're both doing the same freaking build.
Yeah, the interesting base layout from both players. I think the Protoss gateways being so far away from the ramp, and their robotics is also away from the ramp.
I mean,
I would say, yeah.
The gateways being far from ramp don't matter nearly as much because the units are a lot faster. The robotics you want to have close to the ramp as much as you can.
Yeah.
So we do see the observatory on the way for green, and the observatory being started for Ashen, but a lot more delayed than it needed to be. So both players doing the same build, but if you actually look at the supply, green has a couple more probes, a couple more units. He's just kind of doing the same build a little better. Which is definitely going to make things good for him. So we got to see which player blinks first wants to take that early Nexus. No one looking to do it at all, though. They're both just making units and scared to expand. PvP in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I would say I don't know too much about PvP, but you want to have more map vision than this. It seems like they're both just camping in their natural, and there's no like, I don't know. Either player could have a Reaver going into their base, and they wouldn't really know about it.
Yeah, so some things you want to be doing in here. Dragoons are just as fast as Dragoons. So you can poke forward as far as you want, and you can always retreat. Like, because the Dragoon has to stop the fire. They'll take one shot, and then they'll never hit you again. But you also could be building pylons, like over here at the 3 o'clock base, somewhere on the map. That'll help you get you a little more vision to see shuttles. So right now, they're both just guarding this natural, hoping an attack comes. And green does spot the observer that the attack's coming, and doesn't even lose his observer. Ashen actually full retreating to kill this observer. Don't agree with that. If you're going to commit to the attack, commit to it.
Well, he might just take an expand here. He has the minerals to do it.
It looks like Ashen is getting ready to take that expand. We do see that pro right there, and actually does put the Nexus down. Green not doing so, so there'll be a window to put some pressure on from green if you choose to.
Here's Ashen actually pushing, and this is not a good angle at all to attack into, I would say.
Well, it's even ignoring the angle of that. Like, the Dragoons on the other side of the bridge, that's hard to push across. But there's defender advantage in this matchup, such an obnoxious thing to deal with. Because, but there's gonna be another round of production by the time you get there. And if you don't have a power unit, just Dragoons versus Dragoons, there's so little you can do. We actually do see Ash actually target firing Dragoons a little bit better.
Great target firing.
Wins that fight a lot more significantly. But as you can see,
but here's the round of production. Yep, you were just talking about this.
Yeah, so this happens just constantly back and forth if you're not careful. All you gotta do is like misstep and lose a couple of too many Dragoons, and then they just counterattack across the map. But so as long as Ashen can stabilize and defend this a little bit, this Nexus being so far ahead is going to be a good spot. But this is a lot of units with more on the way. This might be hard to defend. If green just pulls the trigger and attacks, I actually don't know how. I think Ashen has to give up the Nexus.
Yeah, now this is where, if you're on 3 gateways, can you just not build a Reaver? Because I would say a Reaver, like you're saying, is a power unit that could really swing any kind of fight.
Right, but neither player actually has the bay to make
the gas.
Reaver. They both went 3 gate for observers only. So they have to build the bay and then build the Reaver, which costs a lot of money.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if they're on 3 gate production, they just don't have the money to build a Reaver.
Yeah, typically you stay on 2 if you're building Reavers.
Okay.
But we do see green just using the overwhelming numbers, and it snowballs so fast in this matchup when you have more.
Yeah. So he's gonna lose this Nexus, like you're saying. We'll see.
And I do like that he's not being impatient, not trying to force up the ramp to take the kill. If he kills the Nexus, he knows his is up already. Or it's on the way, at least. So he's going to be in a fine spot. And Ashen knows that's hard to recover from. Just taps out. I don't mind that at all.
Some nice Dragoon Wars in that game.
Yeah, this matchup is just, it's obnoxious. Especially if you both do the same build. Like if one player goes Reaver and the other doesn't, or the one goes like Speed Shuttle and the other doesn't. But if you do the same build, it really comes out to who is greedier and didn't die for doing it. Mm-hmm. At least that's what it seems like to me. I could be wrong.
And just little micro things, or like you were saying in the early game, just executing your build slightly better than your opponent.
Alright. So we're going into the next game. This is going to be green again, and this time we're going to be against Kenzaki Renko, which I know that guy's been around. He's pretty good. So we'll have to see how this one goes. And
so we saw green lose and then win, so he's 1-1 so far.
No, wasn't he? He was in a good spot and quit the game that he should.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say.
Oh yeah, no,
he's 1-1.
Yeah, that's right. He just beat the other Protoss player. You're right.
Gotcha.
All right, so we have green and purple in the top right, And we got
It looks like
Renko in
pink
the
to
top
me.
left. Yeah, it's magenta. and the name of it's magenta, and it's awesome.
Okay.
It's a great color.
Okay.
Actually, that might be a pink. I don't know. It's hard to tell the colors. I think the colors look like on Carbot. I don't ever like look at the normal screen, you know?
Wait, you use Carbo?
I use Carbot, yeah.
Still to this day?
Yeah. I've never stopped using Carbot. It's the best
Wow.
thing. It's the best thing.
Surprised.
Well, you don't have to be surprised, man. It's the best. So now Taryn, you can give a little more feedback. What would you do in this map? Are you a Siege expand guy? UFD? What do you like?
Yeah, recently I've been playing that factory into basically a bunker expand, and then getting siege on like my tanks. That's how I like to open. I feel like this game, especially this map, is just so good for defensive players. I like to try and then just get my third as fast as possible and go for that timing attack.
That seems very reasonable. I find it, like, I want to keep being aggressive on this map, but, like, the natural design with that cliff overlooking it and, the ramp, it's so hard to, like, break that and being aggressive. So I gotta, like, take more bases than I want to, but I always just want to, like, 2-gauge just dragoons in their face.
Yeah. Well, that can work, especially at some levels, if you're, like, mind gaming them and they're expecting to take a fast expand, but you're right, with the cliff the way it is on this map, where you can just park tanks on that edge, it's really hard to break once siege mode finishes, for sure.
Alright, so we do see this SUV moving out. Scout, gonna get lucky and scout first. We'll see if green can match though. Nothing unusual from the Protoss player yet. It's just getting that one gate. The core doesn't get an early zealot, which usually, like, if you want to do that, it means you just want to start making dragoons faster. Maybe take that second gate a little earlier, or like really get a fast expand going. But like, I would like getting that early zealot if you think you're gonna get cheesed. But I don't think green just cares about being cheesed. He didn't scout for the last game either. I just think he doesn't care.
Yeah, these players are scouting each other first, and it looks like Renko is just going straight for factory, also not building a marine, so that's a little interesting to me. You don't really see that very often. Oh, here's this marine.
Yeah, well, it did seem like it was maybe a little late, though. If there was a zealot on the way, there would be nothing here to defend it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he is getting that marine out now, so he should be able to chase away that scouting probe.
And we did see the Terran player took guys out of gas. So that's usually like you're getting a factory then fast expanding, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like is going to happen in this game, but we'll see. Sometimes they put guys back on gas once that probe leaves their base, and we'll have to see how the Terran plays this.
Do you think there's a limit to like hiding, like if you're gonna like be an aggressive like 2 factory or something? Like, when's the limit where it's like, all right, I didn't kill this probe, I gotta just like put it down and show him? If you were gonna switch and like throw guys in the gas, like trying to be tricky, is there?
I think it just depends on the game, right? I know there are some players that just 2 factory every game and don't even care if they get scouted. That you like even know they're gonna play that. So
I don't like this. There's 2 Marines only to defend against it.
yeah, this is not good for math. You need 3 Marines, just in case you're wondering. So these 2 Marines are gonna get pushed back by these dragoons.
Yeah, well, we do have the third one to point out, but the other 2 are already pretty bruised. If he has some, he's canceling his own attack and just has to kind of back off, wait for the second.
Yeah, I think he's gonna wait for range and maybe try to deny this bunker. We'll see how he does this though. He's got 2 goons out. Oh my goodness! Did he say game?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
We've had some fast games.
It's like that.
GGs.
We're quitting like that. Okay. I figure if you're like willing to quit that fast when it's like, oh, this didn't happen, then like shouldn't you just be like building the bunker or building the Marines early, like not trying to be so greedy if you're not willing to like play from the deficit? Like that makes sense to me. But,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. It's an interesting one. Yeah, so what we had earlier, we had green versus ball, we had green versus Ashen, and now we just had green versus Renko. So this is going to be our 4th replay of the day so far. Which, yeah, I have 2 copies of that Green vs. Ranko game. I think both players uploaded it, which that's the one game I wouldn't want to upload on accident. Right, so
I feel like if they both uploaded it, doesn't that mean it's a good game?
No, because only the winners are supposed to upload.
Oh, okay.
It makes things confusing for people trying to get replays to cast from when I see 2 of them for some reason.
Okay.
Alright, game's up for the next one, and this one I believe is going to be Ashen versus Ranko.
Okay, so another TBT for Renko, and we just saw him, basically rage quit out of a game, so we'll see how this one goes from.
Yeah, that felt like a rage quit to me, yeah. I was just like, these fucking triggers.
Oh no, this is Ball against Ashen.
Oh, cool. Alright, so I think maybe one was mislabeled. That's okay. So we do have irk-Ashen in the top left with purple. Good color choice. I personally agree. And we got Ball in the bottom left with the yellow Zerg. Also good. These guys picking good colors. I like it.
Okay, so we'll have to see if Ball goes for that play he did before with the 5 hatcheries before gas. That's what it was, right? 5 hatcheries before gas.
It was 4 hatchery before gas, and it was like he got the 5th hatchery like before lair, I think.
Okay.
He like really delayed his gas, went for this big mass Hydra only play, but then just didn't make the Hydras, and he, like I said, he should have lost that game. But it was just. See, this is what people say. Protoss is so easy. Protoss is so easy, and then it's just like you can just lose your stuff if you're dumb about it.
True. Yeah.
Real easy to be dumb with Zealots.
I wonder, how much early damage Ball took in that game, and he still managed to win. Shows if he can get out of this early game, he might be in a good spot going into the mid and late game, I think.
Yeah, I would like to see this game though, for him to maybe get the gas a little earlier, so he has units a little faster, and to get that 4th base a little earlier, because he had that whole corner of the map blocked off and just never used it. Alright, well, let's see how is Ball, or how is Ashen going to start his thing. Where the probe is, I wonder, is he going to start with a gateway or a forge? He's very delayed, regardless of what he's doing. And he does start Forge, and I don't know if that's the placement you want. I'm not super good at the SimCity, but I don't really see the Forge on the right side that often, I don't believe. So I'm not sure if that wall is really good or not.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah,
but
like this whole thing looks a little off to me. But
I'm pretty sure I've practiced walls with Ashen before, but I don't know what strategy or what he's doing this game.
Well, it is cross map, but he does see that it is a pretty fast spawning pool. It wasn't like hatchery first or anything, so if there's going to be something here, he's going to have to figure out how he wants to defend it. Has that first camp, but that's a big, wide opening. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, luckily, well, here comes the spawning pool, but there's no way too early lanes. Let's see, he's only building 1 starlings and 1 drone.
Yep, I think that's okay. You see your cross spawns are going to be hard to defend against it anyway, so I actually don't mind that at all. But we're going to have to see where's Ashen going with this. Now, we still don't see that gas, so it's not going to be anything crazy, and building up a lot of minerals for Ball, so I wouldn't be surprised to see another 3rd hatch really quick. And we do have that gateway at the front. Again, like, I just don't know if that wall's what you want to do. Like, we'll have to see if it gets tested how well it is. But even if it's not like laying tight, which I'm not 100% sure of, that formation is really dangerous for a Hydra bust. Because that first pylon is so easy to kill.
True. That's a good point.
Yeah. And we do have that 3rd hatchery up in the upper left corner.
Now,
like
is that even the right spot to take your 3rd hatchery? Isn't it the other way, or am I wrong?
I think you can. It's like a style choice of where you really want to take it, but you do want to be securing a natural, so you get the main later. You can block off the SimCity. I don't know which corner would be actually better to take in this situation. I think that's kind of you pick or choose.
Yeah.
We do see the gas a lot earlier in this game than we saw the last game, so maybe Ball was just trying out something new and interesting that other time.
Yeah, I wonder which game was played first, or if he learned his lesson, or if he decides to be greedy in the second game. We'll see.
see what goes down. We got the Cybernetic core just about to finish, so Ash is gonna have to make his choice of what tech he wants to go reasonably soon. I do believe some of the builds would get that second gas before this point, so we'll have to see what he does. It does look like it is a Stargate though, which is the standard, what you should expect to see.
And so, when should he have taken his second gas already?
I think it depends on like if you're planning to go like 2 Stargate or how many upgrades you're planning to get, like how aggressively you need the gas early. But like, I know like the build I do, I get the gas right before the Cybernetic core finishes because I want to get these upgrades rolling really fast. Which actually, you do see that Ashen has the money for a weapons upgrade, but hasn't started yet. I am a little surprised with that, honestly. Looking like he's just starting it now, but again, just feels like a little late, maybe. Looking over the Zerg side, we do have the lair finished, and Aspire's on the way. So we do have that Stargate. Hasn't started the Corsair production right away. Gonna have to be careful to make sure he gets the numbers up and doesn't lose them carelessly. We do already see that we got the expansion up. We're already building a little bit of defense just in case like any zealots are walking around poking at it. And started to build that SimCity up at the natural. What I want to see though, like when he gets to Spire, is he going to go Mutus or is he just going to go straight for Scourge? He does have that second gas taken, but didn't take it at the third. But I didn't catch the timing of the second gas, so I'm really not sure. We got a Corsair looking like it's going to take the long way around the scout. He'll get to the main eventually. I'm not really sure why it's taking the long way. Maybe just trying to catch, see if he took the natural down to bottom right.
Yeah, he just barely missed that Overlord, which is pretty sad for him. And now his Corsair is just kind of idling right now. And the Spire is just finishing. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that first Corsair, you want to beeline it straight to the base. You need to get that scouting information. So, like missing the Overlord sounds like a bad thing, but it's not like you would have stopped and killed it anyway.
True.
And we do actually have some mutas on the way and a pair of Scourge, so this first Corsair getting in hasn't seen the Spire yet, so he's got to keep up this Corsair production, which he's already doing blindly, and just lost that Corsair to Scourge. This is terrible news, because losing that first Corsair puts you behind in the Mutaverse Corsair fight. Especially if you look around the Pro space, no cannons at either middle.
He's going to have to throw some cannons, yeah, that's for sure. We'll see what happens here. He's only got one Corsair out, no Dragoons in sight, and the Mutalisk, once they start heading to his base, will be able to harass him pretty well.
We do see the Zealots starting to move out across, maybe trying to delay the Mutas from doing anything, but if these Mutas just go into that, these probes are just waiting to die if the Mutas come. There's nothing there to stop them. You even see the Corsairs poking around over at the third, like they're out of position for defense right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what these Zealots do. Right now they do not have their legs upgrade or the +1, but they're both finishing up. He's attacking a little bit before they would finish.
I mean,
okay, I think
it's still just the 2 sunken, so he should be able to kill this off pretty good. Good counterattack, but the Muta's coming into the main.
Oh no,
so
the Muta's are counterattacking. Yeah.
Oh no. Looks like Pro's going to kill off that third base, but at what cost to his probes? And actually the Muta's chasing the Corsair and still killing probes. A little surprised by that.
Yeah, and now the Corsairs are returning to base, or at least the other 3.
This is definitely going to be a big hit to the economy, everything having to retreat. Probably could have lost a lot more than he ended up doing, and now with the Corsairs here, the Mutas have to retreat because they're not going to win the straight-up fight here.
Yeah, and a little late pulling those Mutas, and he's lost all but one, who only has 6 HP now.
Yeah, this is actually a really big problem because now there's all these Zealots on the map, and you don't have like a Hydralisk base built, you don't have a lot of defense to your second. So not even that Protoss has to attack 2 base versus 2 base like this, but if he does, what's gonna actually stop these Zealots? There's 2 Sunkens back there, but that's kind of about it. He has map control now, and it's gonna be hard to take it back. Yeah, I'm definitely hearing a little bit of a stack thing. I think it is like your mic being muted.
Yeah, I'm just muting my mic. That's my bad, dude. I'll stop doing that.
It's okay. I'm just making sure that you're not like trying to talk. So Zealots try to put some pressure at the front, but there's enough Lings and Sunkens to dissuade them from going there. Corsair's going back, looking like maybe they're just going to go hunting for some Overlords. Which, I mean, in this spot, it's 2 base versus 2 base. You look at supply, Ashen almost double what Ball has, and he did a lot of damage to the Mutas. This is, I don't know how Ball's actually going to recover from this one.
Yeah, as Zerg, like, how do you play this out? Because you basically held into 2 bases by a 2-base Protoss, so you never want to be in that position unless you're somehow like ahead on tech, or you're going to do some kind of attack. But it doesn't look like he's in either of those situations. Like, kind of late Hydralisk play.
Yeah, this is a really rough situation to be in because, like, you already saw that Protoss was getting their upgrades. They got Templar. The Storm's already been researched as well. Hasn't gotten the robotics yet, so there would be the risk of no observers. But I don't even see if there's a Hydra. The Hydra den's done, but I don't think he's got Hydras made. I don't think he has Lurcher researched. Just he was really relying on those mutas to do something.
He has a good grip.
Let's see what goes on from here. It's going to be interesting. The robotics is on the way now, so observers will be up before lurkers are a threat. As long as, like, I think if Protoss just keeps that map control, maybe tries to establish their third up, but they're not in any kind of rush. If it's 2 base Zerg, you're feeling great right now as Protoss. You actually just see these Zealots swarm around map, just trying to catch anything, like, just stranded or wrong. So now if you like take a look, but that's certainly dead. There's no vision for Zerg at all.
And here we see Zerg trying to move out and retake that map control, sending out a bunch of his army with his overlords. A few Hydralisks going to that third location, who might be trying to expand there. And now we're going to see a fight potentially in the middle with some High Templar and Zealots against a bunch of Hydralisks.
This is so bad for Hydras if they get hit by a good storm, but this is actually a lot of Hydras actually deciding to retreat, maybe get a couple more armies. Actually having to kill his cannon just for mobility. Big
that was a good storm.
Yeah, that was a fantastic storm. Did so much damage there. These Zealots with their speed and weapons upgrades should be able to do some pretty good damage, but it looks like another Templar is it getting sniped off before it has a chance to cast Storm? It does. Barely. It doesn't have enough energy. So these Zealots are going to be able to clean up the Hydras, and all the mutas get killed off. So it's a big unit trade, but if you look at the supply, it's really clear who came out ahead on this one.
Yeah, Protoss is in great shape. He has all the production. He has already Storm and Speed Zealots. Like, yeah, he has a huge supply lead now.
Yeah, I'm actually confused, like, what's happening right now, because if you look, like, there's not a lot of production going on, even though the Ball had plenty of money to do something. It's not like he's, like, banking. Yeah, Ball had a lot of money, but he wasn't actually using his hatcheries for a long time. There was nothing in the production tab for him.
Oh, now he's building a bunch of drones, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like he is rushing hives, hoping to use some kind of advantage with the tech, but I don't even know if that's going to be enough to do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
what would you get here?
Third base is going up now for Protoss, right?
Yeah, I mean, this seems like Protoss' game to lose, but we've seen it happen before already. But
yeah, Ball has pulled him out.
But the economy is in such worse shape for this game than the other one. I don't see the same thing quite happening here. The third just gets established. There's a couple Lings looking to put some pressure on, but that should be enough to actually do anything here with these Zealots ready to defend.
Yeah, it seems like Zerg is content just to sit in his base right now and not expand, which isn't really how you play Zerg, but he's teching up to Hive, and so we'll see what he ends up doing with like a smaller army but higher tech.
I mean, the only thing I could think of, especially given how much gas he has, is that he's going to do Defilers and Dark Swarm. Because Dark Swarm Lurkers is very hard to deal with. But he just doesn't have the money to really back up anything right now. You can see the supply already 110 ahead for Ashen now, and it continuously is going to keep
so
going.
He's going for cracklings. That's what he's doing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here it goes. Let's see what he does with it. Yeah, maybe he'll get Defilers out too. Let's see.
Yeah, but see, even like if you have cracklings, even that's going to be hard because you weren't keeping up on the ground upgrades. They only have 1 armor, no attack. So they're going to attack quickly, but these zealots are still going to shred through them since they're ahead on the attack upgrade. But you see that big attack with the Protoss army moving towards the front. I think he could kind of be a little reckless, but I mean, doesn't want to. I'm not going to blame anyone for not like pushing over and overextending their lead. We're seeing a lot of movement from Ball's army up to the corner, but there's no drones there to actually take the base, so I'm a little confused by this army movement. Maybe just trying to get a good flank, but I
think he's setting up for a flank or even trying to do a counterattack here. Maybe just try to move this Protoss around, but there's a good swarm going down, and this is just not enough Zerg to really fight the Protoss right now.
It really isn't, especially at an upgrade deficit with all these zealots here. That alone would be enough to really do something. You can see that there's a couple units trying to get to the front, but there's already units that are in production ready for them.
And all these overlords just got topped by the Corsair, so this is not fun either.
Oh no. Ball trying to move out across the bridge before he gets sandwiched into there. Looking like maybe he wants to go for a counterattack on the third, but this giant Protoss army, like, I don't know how he has the ability to just move away from his base right now. He needs everything just to not die right now. Looking like this attack is closing into those units that did leave through. Not really enough for any kind of good surround. It's just some Zerglings, but with all these Templar and Zealots here, it's gonna be that's not gonna be enough to really do anything. There's a lot of Dragoons versus a lot of Zerglings, so that's one good thing, but it's just too little of anything for Zerg to really win this fight. See Zerg losing that fight pretty cleanly, going right back down to that very low supply we're talking about.
Oh yeah, there it goes.
It finally taps out of that one. That was just a rough one. Losing that third base like that was brutal for a Ball. I think it all kind of stems back though from him losing those first mutas. When you make the mutas, they gotta start doing something, and when you lose all of them, it's like, alright, you spent all your money on mutas. I'm gonna take my zealots to just kill something because you can't stop them anymore.
Yeah, you're totally right about that. Definitely that engagement where the mutas were in his main and the zealots were at the third. It was pretty much the deciding point of that game. And then Ashen just followed it up by macroing, taking his third, and playing very safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he was just feeling very comfortable. He did enough damage where he didn't have to really stress about doing any more. So he's just like, I'm just going to build up on 2 base. I feel great right now. But I do like that Ball's trying to get some stuff done. That's something I always was trying to do, was just like push my limits with builds and just be like, alright, I'm not super good at doing mutas and doing the other stuff, or like, so I'm going to try to do it and just see if I can get the practice on it. So that might have been the intent the entire time.
Yeah, and he's showing good, like you're saying, variety in builds, which I think is good, especially in a preseason tournament that it really doesn't matter win or loss. I guess it does matter somewhat, but not as important.
Yeah, it really doesn't. What? Okay, Ranko's just being silly. So we got Ashen in the purple in the top right. We got Ranko in the, what is that, like cobalt blue? Gray blue, whatever. And that's in the top left. So same positions as his game versus Green. Hopefully he doesn't die to the first Dragoon. I don't know what Ranko's doing. I think he's just amusing himself. You're definitely having that mic muting thing right now. So either way, it's going to be the same match we saw before in the same positions. I got a feeling though that this one shouldn't go as bad. Hopefully, if this game was played second, Ranko learned his lesson. Maybe wants to build those extra Marines early. We'll have to see. But for now, no one did anything weird, no weird cheese or nothing like that.
Yeah, from what I know, well, we'll see how this game goes out. I don't want to tell you what Ashen does every PvP game, but
No, go ahead, man. Give us the details. Ruin your clanmate's chances. Let's all spoil it. What does he do?
I don't want to ruin it for us. We'll see what he plays here, but he's pretty consistent. He has been branching out though, so we'll see.
Okay. I'm expecting some kind of spicy thing then.
No, nothing too crazy.
Then that's boring. Like, you can't build it up and be like, no, I gotta hide it, and then it's like,
okay,
normal build.
It's gonna be a 2 gateway. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we'll see if he does 2 gateways.
So I mean, there is multiple ways to do 2 gateways too. So even that's not a super big tell. Like, depending on how fast you get that second gateway is really more of your intent on how much damage you either need to do or want to do. So we'll have to wait till it happens and see where we're at.
Well, we'll see what he does, yeah. It's like GG, he says. So maybe he has already left the game? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe he's taking his place in a lower tier. I'm not going to accuse anyone of that, but maybe that's what's going on.
Well, we do see that he did make a marine out of the barracks this time. So
okay.
we'll be able to get that proven out. So already, yeah, it's already a little different. That's good. And you were saying a 2-gate, so this is already past the time for the really aggressive 2-gate, the one that gets in your face with Dragoons. So.
I'm totally wrong, so don't worry about that. Yeah.
Well, no, there's still timing for a little delayed 2-gate. So, no, we're going to see if you ruined your boy's chances.
Well, the gateway is out of his main, so if he wanted to place the second gateway now, would be.
I mean, so, like, to my knowledge, you can get a second gateway around this time, and actually, that's a good timing if you're planning to like get 2 gateways just to have the production a little for later and get your nexus down quick.
Yeah.
So it's like you say, like, I'm going to use units later.
Let me see.
Alright, so there's that gateway, a little delayed. So I'm expecting him to plan for an expansion rather than doing damage. Renko already adjusting from that other boss, though.
Yeah.
Getting a bunker, which I appreciate.
And
no
he actually did. Yet.
He did take guys out of gas and put them back in. So just wanted to get the command center going. But it does have actually a good amount of gas. So I wonder if he did that a little prematurely, or if he's planning to do something with this factory that makes use of the gas.
I mean, I'm just assuming he gets tanks in siege mode, which does take a lot of gas.
I mean, that's what you would think, but you know, I never know with people if they want to get like vultures and get mines to get that map control, if they want to get anything. This SCV did pass around in a really interesting way. Isn't going to get caught and be able to see the Nexus and get into the main to see what the tech's going.
This is just great scouting from the Terran to sneak that SCV around through the 3rd base and to see right at 4:30 that there's an expansion going down for the Protoss. That's the timing you want to be looking for. If he's expanding at 4:30, you're pretty much safe. There's not too much cheese you can do with the Nexus at 4:30.
Yeah, we do see Dragoon range finish, so there's a little bit of pressure on that bunker, but nothing that can't be out repaired by these SCVs. And we do have that siege mode on the way, so if we get a siege tank up at that top, the high ground, it's just over. Actually, it's overstaying a little bit with these Dragoons. Doesn't actually take too much hull damage though, so it backs away like just in time for that tank to really do anything to him.
Yeah, just getting as minerals from repair as he can, it looks like. But Renko playing it safe. He's not getting siege mode yet, but he has constructed the armory, so he's going for that really fast.
I mean, he did just finish siege mode.
Yeah. Oh, he finished siege mode? My bad.
Yeah,
there
that was
you go.
The first upgrade.
But he does have that armory finishing as well, which will give him that.
I don't like this siege tank position. That feels so dangerous.
Yeah, I don't like it either because 4 goons can 2-shot siege tank, so he could just wander in here and take out the siege tank relatively quickly.
Yeah, like I want to see that first tank up at the top or like behind
the
bunker.
If he gets lured in here, this could be bad. Oh, if he just walked in there, he wins.
Yeah, but I mean, you take a siege hit and you just know, like, all right, I'm out. It's 70
yeah,
damage. I'm not dealing with this.
It's so true. You don't know what's behind that one siege tank. There could be spider mines out at this timing. Like, you've got to back off. Unless you're just one of those guys who just all ends with fury. It does happen, guys.
Oh, absolutely. So we see from the Terran, he's building that second factory. He's got one armory weapons upgrades, and he's building a starport. Like, is this some kind of like, is this like going for a drop? Is this like some kind of big play? I see a starport, I assume he's getting it for like a second armory to keep the weapons upgrades going. But
yeah,
I'm not
he's on his
100%
good
sure.
timing. No, he's at the right timing to get his starport and then to get the science facility and second armory. So he is going for those fast upgrades. Let's see, what is he researching from that machine shop? It looks like he has spider mines out for his vultures. So he's going to try to do also play, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't really like the spot Action's in right now, because you see that Renko setting up for like a long 2-base kind of play, it looks like. He's going to get that, just going to keep building out these factories. Looks like he's going to explode with macro later. But the
command center.
He's taking a third. But he's taking the third before the third Nexus has started. So it's like, I feel like Ashen's either committed to doing damage, or he should have expanded a long time ago.
Well, here's the thing, right? In these positions, for sure, you can stay on that third, and it looks like he's moving to the third already. He hasn't seen this command center, and he just knows third location with my goons, and it's so hard to push up this as Terran to clear out those goons up the ramp. So we'll see if that's the strategy he goes for.
It seems like a good spot. I love getting Dragoons up at this high ground. It feels so good.
Yeah.
Well, he does see the third command center with the Observer now, so and he sees a science facility in production, so should have some good ideas about what's going on. There's a control tower at the starport. Is that indicating anything in particular, or not really?
I would say no. Pretty much everyone just immediately gets a control tower or at the add-on for the starport, because you're just going to get either a dropship or a science vessel. There's really no point of building wraiths in this matchup, even though I tried to do it in my game, but yeah, there's no point in building wraiths.
Yeah, that makes sense. We do see a little bit of pressure from this Vulture trying to get up here to deal with these Dragoons. Most of the Dragoons actually pulled away from that, pulled towards the front. There's only 2 at the top side now.
Yeah, he's clearing out these mines, and I think he's trying to keep the Vultures from getting pre-rain, and it looks like they're going right into the natural, or are they going to go? Yeah, they're going into the natural now, so he's going to get some free probes. It just really feels bad for Protoss. He is now finishing his goon production, though, so here are the 3 goons to deal with these Vultures. Oh, but they're getting into the main. This is just so painful.
I don't even want to say anything. I hate Vultures. I hate this unit. Why are they so good? It's obnoxious.
That's how Terran feels about every Protoss unit. So.
No, listen. You bought 3 mines for $75, and you got a half meal toy that kills everything immediately.
Hey, half the time the mines blow up the Terran's own units, I feel. But okay.
Well, half the time Reavers don't actually hit, so it's a fair trade. But we do see Ashen, he did pull back to clear out these Vultures, moving back out into the map to make sure that Terran doesn't get across that bridge and really start establishing. But Terran just interested in getting this third up, so I think this should finally be enough to kill these Dragoons.
The Terran is slowly trying to push up this ramp. Let's reinforce that place or make a push in the front. If he had a observer over these 2 tanks, he would see that he kind of can push in there right now with his Dragoon army. But right now he's just kind of sitting. He's only got 1 goon on that third, and he is drawing away 5 tanks up there, so you'd think he would have a timing, but it looks like the Renko here.
Yeah, I think it is just kind of boiling down to that third base from Ashen didn't go up fast enough. So you can see even like the supply, Protoss only a little bit ahead, so maybe you're feeling like, oh, I can't really put in a lot of pressure. Don't have a big army advantage just yet.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. He does have probes at his third before the Terran has ICBs at his third, so that's kind of a nice play for him, but definitely you don't really want to be at this timing as Protoss. He is ahead in supply by a considerable amount, but the third timing was definitely not in his favor.
Yeah, the fact that a 4th hasn't even been started yet, like, you don't want to be even base versus Terran, especially on this map, going into this third. If you don't have Arbiters, you're never getting into that third.
Yeah, so there's a spider mine denying the 4th base, it looks like. down here in the bottom right, and a vulture almost gonna take out that probe, but he just turned around. He must be on patrol move, I think.
It's possible. We do see a lot of units grouping up at the front. And we do have double forges starting to work on upgrades for the Protoss, but I mean, it's not nearly as critical as getting these weapons upgrades for Terran, which they're about to hit 2-1s very soon when those are about to finish. Well, I would love to see the next step of the tech from Protoss. He hasn't started anything towards Arbiters or taken 4th base, and I feel like him sitting on 3 base with like basic unit production like this is just not going to work out for him in the long term.
Yeah, we'll see. You're saying he should go for Arbiter, right?
Either go for Arbiters or like take more expansion. If you want to be like on basic units, you need a lot of money so you can overwhelm with basic units. So like him being even base but not like building his tech further. Like he's just getting the Arbiter started now, finally. But like I feel like there's a lot of steps that just could have been done earlier.
Yeah, and I think that it all stems back to that economy that he just wasn't quite ahead enough in eco to then be ahead on tech. So now it looks like he's kind of even or maybe even behind the Terran. But he still is macroing quite well. There's the 2-1 upgrades though finished for Terran. So if he wants to group all his tanks together, now would be a nice time for him to push out. And there he is moving out, but only a few tanks, and he's kind of not sieging them. Okay, now he sieges up.
Yeah, I mean, do you try to move out with tanks here? I thought you like try to get your vultures to get you space first. And you kind of go really slow with tanks.
Yeah. No, I think you're right about that. Usually though, by the time you're at 2-1, you have around 150 supply, and you can do like a death push. But up until that point, you can harass with vultures, and you can maybe even delay your push if you want to do extra vulture harass. But yeah, there's just not a lot of tanks out right now for Terran, so, or at least with that main group, so he doesn't have like a critical mass of tanks yet. So
So I am a little concerned because we have that Arbiter Tribunal. It's been finished, but he hasn't actually started producing an Arbiter yet. So it's just, again, sitting further on just delaying this tech for reasons that are just going to end up hurting him later. But the one thing I do see from Ashen, like, he's got these 3 bases. He still hasn't started 4th, but like, his pro production's really good. If he had a 4th base, this would be so much better. But him staying on 3 like this, I feel like it's gonna get to like an end game fight, and the Terran army is just gonna overwhelm this fight whenever it happens.
yeah, we'll see. I think this 4th command center now going up for Terran, and he's already started his 3-2 upgrade. So Terran's definitely trying to take it to the late game, and he's looking around like, where is Ashen's expansion? I think he's scanning bases right now.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
So we do
but
see.
Here's a fight, yeah.
Well, Terran's starting to bleed out across the bridge. It's going to be a lot harder for Ashen to contain this now. But Ashen pulling the classic Protoss move. He has 1 Stargate. He's building 2 more. We're going Arbiters, or we're going Carriers.
Oh, Carriers, you're saying. Okay.
I mean, why else do you build 3 Stargates, right? Like, you don't build 3 Stargate Arbiter.
He must have a species or something.
Yeah, which I don't think he's been researching air weapons. So if you're switching for that Carrier switch, it feels like... Oh yeah, the blind in the chat pointing out there's a lot of mines right in those tanks. This could be really bad if these cells get in there.
Yeah, so true.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'd feel bad.
Okay.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, we're finally getting that Nexus up down to the 4th. Finally gets cleared out. But that Vulture's still just right there at the National. You can go back and kill that probe whenever.
Yeah.
Oh. I do like that Ranko's playing this very slowly, waiting for all of his upgrades, waiting for max, not rushing out ahead of the things. Yeah, you can see he actually caught up pretty significantly in that supply gap.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much Terran 2 max armies fighting each other, so he's playing it right here, just slowly building turrets, laying out with time, and it looks like he's going to try to set up his 4th base, and just using vultures to kind of distract the Protoss army. And Ashen's pulling back slightly.
Right. Yeah. The vultures are going to start doing some pretty reasonable damage here, but they're just going to have to pull some trigger back to defend this. And now we got a giant group who's slowly pushing down the map to secure that fourth, like you're saying.
I think it's going to come down. Well, yeah, the Protoss is getting recall now, right? So when he's got 3 Stargates pumping Arbiters. So if he can get a nice recall, maybe into the main or something like that, I think that would suit Protoss very well. It doesn't look like Terran's really that positioned well to deal with it, but definitely the third base, I don't think.
Yeah. The third base has a lot of turrets, so that's going to be hard to get through. He's going to be careful with his Arbiter movement.
Yeah, and he's at 3-2, so maybe that was his plan all along, just max at 3-2, which I think is also more vulture harass like that.
Yeah, this Terran army just started to move across the map. I don't know how Ash is actually going to defend this. He doesn't even have the one Arbiter with his army doesn't even have enough energy for a stasis, let alone a recall. And with the vessel right there, I assume it has EMP researched.
Yeah, here's the EMP. Oh, and the vessel. I mean, the Arbiter still has energy. Funny how that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, the second EMP. There you go.
There you go. It's all gone. Now it's just tanks killing everything. So
yeah,
Ranko pushing forward.
So true.
Hey, if you look at Ranko, he pushed forward, and if you look at supply, it went from both players max to 50 down for Ashen. And Terran just continuing this doom march up towards the natural, it looks like. So we do see that Ashen in the corner starting to add on more production, which I wish he did a lot earlier. He's been sitting on this like 8 gateways for far too long. Especially considering he has 3 Stargates, he's actually making 3 Stargate Arbiter. It's ridiculously I don't get it.
Yeah. He needs more gateways and he needs a faster fourth base. But he just didn't have enough to. What you gotta do is you gotta fight the Terran fast, and then you gotta re-max and fight him again. When his first fight happened, he didn't dent the Terran tank line, and then he never re-maxed. He got 130. He doesn't have enough gateways at his bottom right base, and he just doesn't have enough expansions right now. So this Terran army can pretty much do whatever it wants. Right now it's going down to the third base. He's going to take out these forges and try to take out this nexus. And then he's also harassing down here in the bottom right.
Yeah, there was only a single cannon there to defend, and now with the army showing up, it looks like he's going to lose 2 bases at once. Ashen really not keeping up on his production. Given that he has so much money banked up, you should just be queuing units at the gateways. But still, he's 3 Stargate Arbiter. That's going to eat a lot of gas, a lot of resources for not a lot of actual fighting power.
Yeah, I'd like to see a lot more gateways. It's nice to see a lot of factories from this Terran player, though.
We can see him walking through this minefield, losing almost all of his units immediately, just to the mines. Didn't even get to the army. This just feels brutal. Ranko played very patiently, though. The way he needed to play that game is just, I'm getting max, I'm getting my upgrades. Very patient, and it worked out for him exactly how you thought it would.
Yeah, that's a good way to play Fighting Spirit, I think.
Yeah, I think if Ashen had just played, like I said, like either a little greedier with more bases or teched a little faster. So like it wasn't that he did anything particularly wrong. It just all of it was a little slower than it needed to be. Going into the next game, I think this is going to be Ranko versus Ball. So we got ZVT finally.
Nice. If I recall correctly, ZVT is your favorite matchup?
Yeah, it's everyone's favorite matchup. Come on.
Everyone's favorite. Okay.
It's not my favorite matchup to play, but it's my favorite matchup to watch, for sure. Like it's StarCraft as a matchup. Like this is everything that StarCraft is good is because of this. For sure. Well, we got Ball in the red, or in the bottom left. We got Ranko in the magenta in the bottom right. So, Fighting Spirit, ZVT. If you go back and watch pro games, you could probably see hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of games on this. But, I mean, you know, the meta does change a little bit over time. Is this the kind of map that is, like, good for that, like, that big Goliath build, that 5-factory Goliath nonsense? Is this, like, something you still want to go SK on? Like, what kind of build do you think that we're going to see from Ranko here?
Yeah, my understanding of Fighting Spirit is not necessarily the best map for mech. More favorable towards bio and then a mech transition. But I play straight mech. I play straight mech on Fighting Spirit sometimes, so not saying any strategy is unviable here. Fighting Spirit is a pretty balanced map.
Man, I think there's people that would disagree with you on that one. It's a very old map, but I mean, it's got problems. But it's classic. It's a classic map.
It's classic.
So I don't think there's anything too wrong with it. I would love to see though from Ball if he's gonna, because like if you saw the other games he was playing, this is like this crazy greedy opening, and it's like I gotta do this damage with these mutas. I'm curious how he's gonna open, if it's something that has to get something done, or if he's gonna do like something really safe and stable, like a 3-hatch muta, just like totally normal. Because it seems like so far he hasn't been doing totally normal.
Wow, Renko's talking a lot in his matches, I think. I have a mild cough. Okay.
He's just preempting the excuses in case he loses. It's like it doesn't sound as
China?
bad. Oh no!
Man, we don't need to be talking about the coronavirus right now.
No, we do not. That's sad how that's happening, but we're gonna ignore that. We're here for fun in StarCraft, man. Not about any of that other stuff.
Stay says, at least survive through this game, alright, Renko?
I mean,
that's what's great. Yeah.
I mean, would you want to, like, if your opponent had it, like, maybe you want to take the walkover? Like, just be like, you should go to the doctor, get checked out, like.
Yeah, let me take the win. No, I think it's great for StarCraft, like, playing. It is such a fact that there is still people that play. Pretty much each member of the community is kind of valuable in their own way.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, I'm glad that, like, the game still seems to be growing. Like, even, like, this new season of CPL had more people enter than the previous one. It's been the trend every season, so even though it's an old game, like, just glad to see that it's still trying to grow.
For sure.
Okay. So we do see this 3-hatchery. The lair hasn't been started just yet, and, you know, we got this early expansion looking like we're going for a little bit of a macro play, and Renko with a couple Marines walking right on the map and getting this. This seems like an early factory, right?
Yeah, so we might even see some mech play here. Definitely, I think he's going to go with the Vulture here first, and then maybe try to expand. Yeah, here's the Vulture.
Yeah, it makes
so he might even run 5 factories here. I mean, yeah, 5 factory Goliath.
So is there, would be the indicator we're looking for to see, like, oh, he's definitely doing like this Goliath thing, or like how would we know between that or like true mech, like that slow, brutal kind of mech?
Well, right now the fact that he's taking guys off gas means he's not going for like a 1-1-1, or at least I don't think that's what a 1-1-1 would look like. So I think right now, okay, so it is a 1-1-1, and he's taking a guy off gas. So
I love how fast you got corrected on that.
He does that unsmiley face. What does this mean? I don't know. Oh, the Vulture gets in the base. Oh, this is very bad for Zerg. Rip. Hopefully he doesn't just outright leave here. He should try to get into the main. I don't like this whole staying in the natural game. If you get into the main, then like nothing will kill you.
Well, you can see that nothing's going to stop getting in the main.
Well, I think drones can block the ramp. That's what your only hope is as Zerg in this situation. But now that he's in the main, it's gonna take like miscontrol, or I guess speed's finishing for these lings, so he might just get swarmed by lings.
Yeah. And the other side effect, like he got all these Vulture kills, which is fantastic. But he also saw the Spire, so he sees the lair, he sees the tech choice. Like you gotta be feeling really good right now if you're Renko. And you can see he's adding on a couple more barracks right now.
It's always interesting.
Adding a Wraith. He's really like doing a true 1-1-1.
I mean, I don't know if he was macroing behind his Vulture play, because yeah, he just threw down 2 barracks, and now he's building out of all of his buildings. He's building a Wraith, another Vulture. He really didn't add on any Marines past 3, and now he's got a 4th Marine. So attack right there, I think would have just outright killed him. But now he's actually way ahead. So this first Wraith is getting out, and it's just going to do damage. There's really... Okay, not gonna lie, it's not looking great. Yeah, Ball knows the score right now.
Oh, no. And the Wraith getting into the drone line. Is he gonna start killing
Yeah.
drones, or is he looking
Now
for
Renko's
overlords?
talking trash. Yeah. Yeah.
Looking like he's going overlord hunting. So if we look back, he's starting to build out all these barracks. Get an engineering bay, and it started his academy. So looks like he is going to be much more focused on marine medic than any kind of mech point in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he's got his expansion up already, and he's just way ahead right now. So pretty much, if he wanted to go two-port Wraith, he can make that work. Whatever he wants to do, he can make it work. I've seen Renko before go into battle cruisers when he had a one game. So we'll just see what he does here.
Yeah, we do see a couple Scourge trying to chase down that Wraith, so good thing he got out of there when he did. And Hydra is dead now in production, so the Spire, just to dissuade this, not going to commit to the Mutas, it seems like. Or, yeah, he's building 4. I mean, so he's got to wait for money to build the rest of them, but I don't know, this feels dangerous, delayed. Given the other game with his Muta control, I could see them just walking into Marines and being killed quite quickly. We'll have to see how this keeps building up. But especially if you look at Ball, like, he's building up to the situation, but 17 drones on 2 base, trying to go for Mutas and then Hydras, Lurkers, like, this is very expensive given his economy.
Yeah, I think he's going to hope to do some damage with these Mutalisks or somehow get himself back in the game, but there's plenty of turrets, there's a good Marine Medic Ball.
Yeah, with these turrets here, these aren't going to really get anything done. He might be able to get some damage done at the actual barracks, because turrets don't quite cover that, but as far as actually killing SCVs, I don't think he's going to be able to force his way through that.
Yeah, and he's not going to want to fight this Marine Medic group head-on either.
No, definitely not. And we do see trying to get some micro done going through the science facility, but here comes the Marines, and he has to walk right out. So I mean, I'm glad that he did retreat and didn't lose the units unnecessarily, but if you look at Ball's situation, he's still on 2 base, hasn't established the 3rd, doesn't really have map control. Like, this whole situation is just looking pretty rough.
Yeah, again, another rough game where, as Zerg, you really don't want to be on 2 bases against the 2-base Terran. You really want to be ahead on expansion so you can get that bigger economy to produce the units that you need and actually to tech up.
I mean, this like these Zerg games always just feel so rough, especially with how much the damage that Vulture did. This just sets everything behind so much.
Yeah.
We do see Ball staying at 2 base, getting that Queen's Nest, so looking like he is going to be trying to rush towards Hive, use some tech instead to get his way through this. And meanwhile, we're just getting a well-rounded army from Renko, add on the extra racks, getting his siege mode, getting vessels with the MP. So he's on his way to get a lot of stuff done, and looking like he's going to be strong for the mid-game.
I really want to see him go for battle cruisers, but let's see what he does. He floated his science facility.
I feel like you need, like, I've seen battle cruisers in this matchup before, but that's like late game when you have a lot of bases. They're pretty expensive for 2 bases.
Yeah. I really want to see it though. I'm gonna say that right now.
You can go watch StarCraft 2. You might see it in StarCraft 2.
Really, they do that play?
They do. You can still battle cruiser rush in StarCraft 2. It's like pro legitimate.
With the mass repair, right?
Well, they're like now they can blank across the map.
Oh, okay.
it's weird. Yeah, we do see the Hive on the way. Unit production from Ball actually getting stopped because of the supply block. He keeps losing a couple overlords here and there.
Yeah.
And even that, you
Wait, is that Wraith still alive?
I'm not sure what the Wraith is, but there's some perimeter overlords that keep getting killed by the Marine Medic.
Yeah, now he's pushing out with just 1 tank, which is just enough to push back these lurkers, and he has that 1 science vessel, so this is actually kind of the unit comp you need to do damage here before Hive comes out, or even when Hive finishes, but definitely the timing is right before Hive, around this 10-minute mark. If you can push out with tanks, Marine Medic, and a science vessel, as long as you don't lose that science vessel, you can basically range down everything the Zerg has. The lurkers, the sunken, any kind of hydras, and your Marine Medic will protect that tank. So this is a really strong timing for Terran, and the Zerg, since he did take those damages in the early game, is kind of in no position to deal with this. He does take out that first science vessel, which is a nice win, but it doesn't really look like there's anything to kind of stall this push. Actually, some Marines leaking into the static defense here.
Yeah,
but
he's
that
just got to
second
slow play
science
this.
vessel is on the way. It did take a hit. It's down to 103.
So, looks like he has the second science vessel. He took a little bit of hit from Mutas. They were trying to pick it off
Okay.
back in the main. Hey, you see some lurkers from behind. We'll see if Ranko
Oh.
notices.
Kind of cut off some reinforcements. Not a bad play, but I think this is just basically slow death for Zerg. It's really unfortunate to watch, kind of, but let's see what the Zerg can do. He can't fight this Terran army head on, so he's just buying time until he gets out Dark Swarm, I think. But he's just losing his lurkers slowly, getting pushed back slowly, and like these two lurkers behind, could have done something, but
Well, you're
they're not
saying
going to
Dark
get you
Swarm.
back in the game, really.
You're saying Dark Swarm, but the Defiler Den hasn't been started yet. He's getting Adrenal Glance.
So he's going again for those Cracklings that he tried in the other game, but really against MM, Cracklings don't work, especially if they have +1 upgrades.
Yeah, you need Dark Swarm to really cover, especially against with this kind of unit comp. You need something to help you actually leapfrog in, where Dark Storm covering lurkers and flanks really gets some damage done.
Oh,
Right.
but here the tanks have been attacked by these lurkers from behind, and they have taken out one of the tanks. Let's see if we can get this last tank. It only has 17 HP.
Yeah, I mean, still, there's a lot of Marine Medic converging out on the map.
It's
So we
true.
got some Lings trying to make a counterattack, but they're going to get caught out by these Marines. They actually get cleaned up in the middle of the map.
Yeah, so this pretty much spells the end here for Paul. I don't know what else he could really do.
I don't think so. And gets tapped out of that one. A little unfortunate. I think, like, Ball just keeps getting into these early deficits, and it's just unfortunate, either like for an early attack or just not being super safe with his builds. So hopefully that's a lesson he can learn moving into next week to fix some of that issue. Alright, so we got, it looks like I have 2 games left, and we're doing our first TVT. This one's all you, baby.
Oh no. Okay, who's it between?
Yeah, between Renko and Shamtu.
Okay. That should be fun.
That's you said that, like, your voice got like 2 degrees flatter when you said it. I was like, that should be fun.
I don't know.
I mean, so like, there is that reputation that people don't like TVT. So maybe it's gonna be something wild. Maybe someone's gonna cheese. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that one. TVT. The first thing I think of when I think TVT on Fighting Spirit is that Artosis YouTube video of him playing the hour-long game. It was like an hour-long TVT. They had to like take the middle base, and they were like slicing the map. It was all battle cruisers and waiting for energy recharge. It was.
No, those games are the best. Yeah, really. Once you get battle cruisers out on the map, TVT becomes so much more fun because like it just becomes epic.
Yeah. So, real quick, we'll introduce. It says Salt. That is Shamtu, because again, he wants to just chill. And Ranko with the fun. He has fun conversation. And he's
both of them really talking a lot, I guess I should say. But yeah, we're getting some background into Shamtu's life. Ranko's making fun of him now. So this game has it all so far.
Yeah. Well, Shamtu with the low-level flex, like just hold on, texting the girl. I'm sorry. Silly. Well, so let's see what these guys do. Ranko,
Don't like. Ranko will not stop talking. I don't like
think you will.
Why not? So they're just full on having a combo right now while playing at like 150, 200 APM.
Well, I mean, that's how you build the APMs. Type while you're
Right?
doing it. It's like he's building a supply depot right now. There's just nothing to do here. So, if I played TVT, I would want to play Wraiths. Like Mass Wraith or Mass Vulture or something. Something aggressive that gets something done.
Yeah.
But this map definitely seems like, for TVT, slice up the map, be defensive, do tanks, drag it out to a 40-minute game. It seems like just the way this map's laid out, it makes you want to be defensive.
Yeah, I think definitely you can get those first 3 bases pretty well defended on this map in TVT. There is a pretty open middle where you can do some damage, like with Vulture play, like you're saying, or even since it is such a big map, Wraiths can do damage. But once the battle lines kind of get drawn, yeah, this game could last a long time.
Yeah. I feel like this just tests your patience. Like if you have a problem where you keep doing like bad attacks and you don't wait for the right time, just like play a couple TVTs, you'd be like, oh, it could be so much worse, and then you'll calm down. Both players scouting each other first. Lucky them.
Okay. Yeah, TVT is one of those games too where you think you're behind, but you don't have to be aggressive when you're behind. You can just wait, and the other guy might just throw the lead right back to you. You don't have to like necessarily try to attack to get back in the game.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you're 200-200 with a siege tank line, like you can't attack into that. You're gonna just lose all your stuff. So if you're maxed and have a ton of bank, it doesn't really matter. You know?
Well, that's why TVT is such a tech battle too, because yeah, soon you like in a long game they'll both be maxed, and the the map will be split, and then it'll be like who can have the highest tech, who can get the best units out at the right time. Because yeah, those tanks and vultures are good, but eventually you want to get onto, well, you want to keep the main core tanks, but you want to get onto wraiths or battle cruisers as well.
Oh no, this SUV is gonna get out with 3 or 1 health. Not like this.
1 HP, not like this. I don't think it's trying to stay alive. I think it wants to die. Yep.
Yeah. And we actually saw Sham2 do a good job microing his Marine to kill the scouting SUV very quickly. And looking like he's gearing up to take an expansion. Looks like Renko doing the exact same. Great, we're in for a long one.
Okay, well let's see about the vultures. Yeah, they're both going vulture right away. Sham2's already lifted his racks, so that's a very good move to go and scout your opponent. Once you figure out where he is, just lift your racks and float it to their base.
There's not really a lot of danger in like not building Marines after a certain point, just because all the factory units killed them so easily.
Yeah, once you get that first couple vultures out, then you can start destroying Marines way too easily. So that racks is pretty much only good for building more factories and scouting.
So as long as you don't lose the racks, if you lose racks before you add on more factories, that actually can set you back really significantly. We do have a little bit of a micro battle here. The first Marine goes down, and Sham2 looks like he has a pretty clear advantage in this one.
So Sham2 could just chase this vulture if he does patrol micro. Oh, there comes the second vulture, and now Sham2 is actually retreating. And again, with vultures, you can just patrol micro chase. So there's some nice micro from Renko. He takes out that vulture. And now it looks like Sham2 doesn't have anything because he lost that first vulture. He went for an add-on.
SCVs are coming down.
The SCVs are coming. They're trying to hold the ramp to not let the vultures into the main. But these SCVs will get sniped pretty easily. And he could even bring his surviving Marine in here to do some damage. But this is not really the position you want to be in as Sham2.
Oh no.
Trying to micro with this one. Oh, he actually gets a vulture.
But the tank just spawns in time.
Now it's the tank. Okay, so he's going to survive from this. And he didn't really lose too many SCVs either. But his expansion is somewhat delayed, right when it would have finished. But Renko hasn't really saturated his expansion either. So both players are looking pretty steady, pretty even here right now.
Yeah, we do see Renko does have that second factory up and running, which Sham2 has that full scout up with that barracks. Renko has not gotten the barracks into the same location, so unfortunately not quite as in the knowledge.
Yeah, you want to be looking for their factory count at this point, and that will determine, are they teching? Here he most likely did see that armory go down for Renko, but only 2 factories. It's not going to really be a heavy vulture play. He might try to get siege tanks out, get a armory or a starport, and just play more defensively.
So we do see a little move out with just a couple tanks. Is this something you actually have to be worried about with speed vultures? Like, should you be counterattacking here? Wonder how this is going to get handled.
Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting to move out with tanks at this timing because if there is mines, you pretty much would just lose those. It's only a couple tanks. But yeah, now he's forcing Renko into a counterattack because you don't really want to fight speed vultures against tanks. That's just not a winning battle. But Renko only has 2 factories going. Oh, he has his own tank finishing up. But this is actually a really good position for Sham2 to be in, and GG is called by Renko.
Yeah, wow. he the counterattack vultures, he didn't micro around, actually fought the tank that was spawned over Sham2's base. He just lost it straight up. So, unfortunately. So this is the last replay I got for the night, and it's gonna be Sham2 versus Ball in another ZBT.
Okay.
To my knowledge, all the games got played. These are the only replays I could find on the drive. So that's, I guess, what all we're gonna be doing tonight.
That's cool.
Okay, so we're gonna get into this one. I mean, it's been some fun games, but unfortunately, a lot of the games seem like they ended. Even if the game didn't end immediately, it was a lot of an abrupt, like, oh, here's a clear problem that kind of lost the game, whether it was immediate or down the line. So hopefully we don't have another one of those. But we got Sham2 in the red Terran up at the top right, and we got Ash Ball in the blue Zerg down at the bottom right. Now we're going to see what is Ball going to learn from given his other matchups, where it's a lot of maybe not expanding fast enough, maybe being too greedy, maybe being too aggressive and not handling the units properly. See if he's like getting it to come together, because every game did seem like it was a different style, like maybe he's trying to make these tweaks as it goes.
Yeah, I really don't blame Ball for that one loss where he got the Vulture into his main. That was kind of just unfortunate. He didn't get the sunken finish in time, and then from that he was way behind. So that was the only TVZ we've seen from him, I think. But yeah, he has not really won a lot of games, so it'd be nice to see him win this one. We'll see how Sham2 opens up, if he does go for that 1-1-1 that we saw give Ball a lot of trouble, or if he decides to play a more bio-centric build.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that Sham2 probably isn't the kind of player that does a 1-1-1. He seems like he does stuff that's a little more straightforward. So, especially if you're like playing in a group like this, and maybe if you think you're better than your opponent, maybe keep it simple. Where it's just like, I just want to get the win. So I'm not sure how you feel about this game or what the approach is going to be. So the one thing I was seeing from Ball though in the other games that I really want to see him like rectify is, especially we saw in the other ZVT, if he gets behind, he kind of just commits to this slow death on 2 base, or like whatever bases he has. He doesn't make it a play to get a base back or like fight back, no counter harass. He just kind of like accepts like, oh, this is just a bad spot, and then just slowly dies out. So that's the only thing I really want to see, is just fight back a little bit, see if you can get something done, rather than just accepting the deficit and then not being able to climb out of it.
Yeah, I think you're right, but even if we look at that last game, he was at such a deficit, there really wasn't any options for him. When he was contained on those 2 bases, he did try to like kind of sneak out around the map and counterattack, but it was just a little too late scenario for him.
Right.
So hopefully he can get more on an even footing this game and show us what he can do. Oh, and there's a gas steal going down by Sham2.
That's obnoxious.
I've heard this is not even a good thing to do, but
it's not good in this matchup.
Yes. Oh, and he's doing a double gas steal, it looks like. What's he doing over here?
This is some clown stuff. This isn't like good in this matchup, because like he went hatchery first, so he's gonna get the spawning pool. He's not rushing for tech anyway, and he's gonna make lings no matter what. So it's not like against like a Protoss where it's just like, oh, the Marine's gonna be shooting this like 1,000,000 health assimilator forever.
Protoss, yes.
Yeah, like you do against Protoss, they have to build a Zealot. If Zealot gas steals a Terran, like it commits a lot of time.
Oh,
and he actually just got with drones.
Yeah.
And actually spawning out 6 lings. Gonna have to be a little bit careful. That's enough to start being worried, given that.
Look at Sham2. He's got his 2 Marines on the map, and now he turns them around. So he understands that he really can't be aggressive right now with just 2 Marines against these 6 lings.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking, because like the follow-up for that doesn't even make sense. You take the gas steal, and so he's gonna build lings to kill it, so you're gonna move out across the map, but then he made lings. Like that's what you were expecting to happen. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know exactly where he was going with those 2 Marines. Maybe the Killer Overlord?
Possibly. I actually like love if you're gonna try to do that, like actually bring it to like the 3 o'clock expansion, because that's where if the Overlord was coming, it'd probably be around there. Like, that's a great spot to try and snipe one out.
Well, here this Overlord is going straight into the main for Sham2. Well, actually it's stopped now. but usually you would expect the Overlord to go over this cliff that's outside the natural. So maybe he was trying to intercept it on that path. Actually, he could kill this Overlord if he knew where it was, because it is just right inside his base for now.
Right, I think maybe that's why he's not going any further right now. Wants to keep that Overlord safe. I don't think he can really afford a supply block right now. It's a little too early for that. But we do see from the Zerg, we got a lair out of the way, and we do have that creep colony at the front. We're up to 3 hatch, so we'll see if he's going to be trying. The plan, it looked like he was doing last game, was this 3 hatch muta, and just got screwed with, which slowed it all down. So see if he has it a little bit more opportunistic this time.
And from the Terran, we have that +1 upgrade going, and he's also getting stim. So this is a very standard play from Terran. He's very low on racks at the moment, but looks like he's going to be throwing down a few right now. He's got his SCVs in position, and that should be able to kind of get him with a big influx of Marines and medics so that he can do a timing attack once this +1 finishes from his engineering bay.
And this seems like one of the really straightforward ways to play this matchup. Just get a lot of Marines, couple medics, big group of units. Because if nothing else, you're skill checking your opponent. Hey, do you actually know how to survive this? And if you don't, it's an easy win right there. But it puts you in a good spot for the mid game because you have a good infrastructure set up. You can go right into that like classic SK Terran you might be used to if you've been playing for a long time.
And I would say this this build is kind of similar to the 3 hatch mutas, where for 3 hatch mutas you just get out those 9 mutas pretty much as fast as you can, and then you try to basically do a timing attack and test the Terran, do a skill check, see does he have turrets up, does he have enough Marines, and does he have his range upgrade. So you got to know, can I do damage, can I kill him right now, or should I back off and wait for the mid game? And I would say the 5 racks +1 is at an advantage against the 3 hatch muta. Not necessarily saying it always is, but just blindly, I would say the 5 racks +1 does counter a 3 hatch muta.
Yeah, it hits at a good time where it's just not a lot of defense, because it'll hit before lurkers pop out, really. Which actually, this is a build that we're seeing from the Zerg. A little interesting. Got the Hydra Den before the Spire, upgrading lurkers now. Spire hasn't even completed, so not really going to be able to invest in a lot of mutas. So I'm a little curious to see what he's actually doing.
Yeah, I wonder what, because I know the Terran's got scans. You can hear the scans going off. So he's got his Spire and his Hydra Den right next to each other. So he must be trying to throw off the Terran a little bit and trick him into thinking he's going mutas when he's going lurkers, or I don't know exactly what the game plan is here. But if he can get these lurkers out, oh, now he's building mutas. So he's going for both packs at the same time.
Yeah, I don't agree with this. So he is building a lot of muta, but it's not as much as you would need to like 9 muta is kind of the magic number to like 2 round a turret if it wasn't being repaired. Or like for example, he built 5 Sunkens at the front of his natural, still on 2 base. He's just building a lot of investment in things that maybe they're not doing what they should be doing. Like, you don't need lurkers right now because you can't afford them. So why did you get the lurker aspects? He's building these mutas, but he's not really doing anything with them. I think the only reason he survives his attacks is he overbuilt defense blindly, though. It wasn't like he didn't see a move out and reacted. He just built them.
And I'm not even sure, like, if Sham 2 attacks, he might be able to hold it with these 5 Sunkens. But eventually Sham 2 will be able to just camp outside here for so long and just win the game when he has total map control. So
like he wants to try and break this, but I don't think you want to break 5 Sunkens.
Oh, here he's pushing against the 5 Sunkens. He has 4 medics. He might be able to pull this off. It looks like he's going to.
I'm actually getting through that without losing too much
stuff.
Stuff.
If the mutas come back... Oh, there's a lurker on that cliff, though, with 7 kills. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and this Terran army got cleaned up. I don't think Terran really needed to push in there. But
absolutely
he traded it alright. He took out a lot of Sunkens, but that's kind of playing into Zerg's hands right now.
Yeah, you don't really ever want to lose this entire army unit. It was pointed out it's 11 meters, 2-shot turrets, not 9. Not bad. Absolutely correct. But you see here, like,
the point still stands. You want more than 5 meters out there right now. Yeah. You want to have 9 or 10.
But since he actually wiped out the army, these mutas, even though lower number, are actually doing some pretty decent damage to keep Willie's number down. But definitely lost too much, forcing the attack a little too long.
Now, in that situation, if Zerg had kind of, I don't want to say macroed better, but reinforced his attack, he would have been able to camp the production for Terran and effectively win the game. But
there is no turrets by the production,
Yeah.
so absolutely.
because Terran was able to push him back, we're going to see a little bit of a longer game here. Terran's still with, okay, there's his factory halfway finished. So this is a super late factory and super late second gas here for Terran. Oh, and the lurkers are pushing in now. And there's really no answer for Terran because how are you going to take out lurkers with Marine Medic? It's just not going to happen. I guess he's building bunkers to try to buy himself some time. Oh, and now...
Catch him this spot, this is a good way to do it. With only
Might
one
catch
lurker
both of
there,
them.
they're easily going to die.
So that was a very nice play, actually. I would never fight lurkers with Marine Medic, but there was actually a good fight. There was only 2 lurkers. They were kind of isolated.
Yeah, he caught them on the move, and once you kill one of the lurkers, it's down to 1. It's a lot easier to deal with. But we did see at least Ball. He pushed the opponent back, survived the attack, and did take a third. So going into that mid game with a little bit more of a plan. So I'm already excited to see that this game's going a little better for Ball.
Yeah, he really needs these lurkers to finish here at his third before this Terran army gets up here. He might even want to use these links to block. Oh, if these lurkers get down... Come on, please, Burrow.
Burrow!
Oh, the Zerglings are buying some time, and there's the Burrow from the lurkers, so these guys are not getting up this ramp.
Alright, awesome. Barely getting through there. That could have been a disaster, but barely
That's
getting
what's
out.
sick about Zerg, and this is why ZVT is a great matchup, because of how tight that window was, where his lurkers had to finish and burrow just in time, or he was going to lose this base and pretty much potentially the game.
Alright, so we are seeing from Terran, he is building 2 factories actually, getting his another engineering bay and a science facility. So it's like, I thought, like, why would you get 2 factories if you're staying on bio, or do you actually start mixing the units at this point?
Yeah, I don't know why he built another factory, because he's floating 1. I don't really understand the game choice right now.
Okay.
Maybe he was trying to build a starport, because it looks like he is sticking on these marine medics. He's getting another engineering base, so you'd think he was going for
Yeah, like multiple starports for vessels or something.
yeah, lots of marine medic and vessels. So I think he did just misclick there.
Right. This is actually good though. There's a little group of Marines isolated between some lurkers. Moving too many at once though, one of them gets taken out, 2 still survive, so still trapped in this little section here.
Yeah, actually, I would like to see Zerg being more aggressive right now because you have all the lurkers out and there's really no counter for them from Terran. But once he gets his science vessels and I guess he's just going science vessels right now, but he's not even going for siege tanks. But once he gets enough vessels out, these lurkers will stop being as effective. But it's really hard to break lurkers with just marines and science vessels unless you have like a critical mass of vessels where you can irradiate everything.
We do see Ball, he's getting that crackling upgrade again, but this time he's actually getting the Filer mount, so we'll have Darkstorm eventually to help deal with this very mass marine strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if Shantu's really going to give him the time. Looks like he's pushing across and wants to get something done, but I mean, how do you attack lurkers up a ramp though? It seems very difficult.
Yeah, I think this third base is pretty much safe, and I don't think he's going to cross this narrow bridge here either, or this, I guess, wide bridge.
Yeah, I mean, so the lurkers were a little out of position. There's not like a whole lot camped there, so if he scans, he might see an opportunity to go forward. Just gotta be careful not losing stuff. Shantu taking a third up at the 12 o'clock. Ball been on 3 for a while, but not trying to take a 4th right now, it seems like.
Well, I like this play from Shamtu taking his third base because he does have a lot of map control. The Zerg really can't see much of the map right now, so this base is pretty safe. He's sending a Ling now to just check to be like, how many bases does this guy have? I don't really know. But once he gets over to this third, if he goes to the third, he'll see that there's already an expansion and there's SCVs going there right now. So he's, again, kind of on even basis with the Terran, which is not really where you want to be as Zerg. Oh, and look, he's going for battle cruisers. So this is what I want.
I was going to point that out. I saw a physics lab. There you go. You got the thing you were looking for.
I don't know if this is the right time to do it, but we'll see, because he doesn't really have any vessels at all. You want at least a few vessels.
Yeah, I mean, so...
Oh, it's mass BCs. He's building another starport.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe he's planning to just go like a lot of BCs to help crack open his base. It looks like Ball is trying to be pretty turtled up right now.
Yeah, but once these defilers get out here with plague, right? There's and you only have BCs. Like, how are you going to handle the defilers?
Well, that's a very good question.
Here's a little counterattack up at the top middle base, but he's just dying instantly.
Yeah, there's plenty of units there. Even actually a fire bat in that bunker, just to really be
Yes.
sure about these like counterattacks.
I like the play of building the fire bats. He's just got a bunch of Marines kind of camped outside, so these guys could be vulnerable to a plague or even some good lurkers around or shots on these Marines. They're just kind of look. Oh, so it wasn't.
Dark Swarm, we're going in for the classic maneuver, and Sham 2 retreating almost immediately to make sure nothing happens with that. Buying a little bit of time is +2/+2 just about to finish right now, so his army's gonna be a lot more scary after that, and it has completed.
Well, his +2/+2 is finished, but still, this Zerg can essentially just march over to his natural right now and fill up some Dark Swarms. Like, there's nothing the Terran has that counters that.
Well,
Here's some
here
BCs
comes
coming
the
in.
BCs to kill some
There's
defilers.
plenty of Scourge. Let's see if they do anything. Oh, so they've taken out the BCs to half damage at least. The Defiler falls though, which is not good. You don't want to be losing Defilers. Oh, here's a bunch more Scourge. And they don't all kill the same battlecruiser, so that was good. So he's pushed back the original first BCs, so they're completely dead. Oh, another Dark Swarm goes down. So these Marines have to retreat again.
But we are seeing the same kind of situation we've seen in the games before, where Ball got to his 3 base, he got to his hive tech, and he isn't trying to gain more. He's not trying to expand more. He's just very comfortable on 3 base, which was fine 10 minutes ago, but isn't okay anymore. He needs more money to actually fight this, so you can see its supply reflecting that.
Well, he's taking the bottom left natural, so he is taking a 4th base now, but you're right, it is pretty late considering the Terran is now taking his 4th base as well. Zerg though is funny that you really don't need a lot of units right now, especially because there is no science vessels on the map. You just need the right kind of units, and he does have those lurkers and defilers, so he has enough to kind of. Oh, but there's fire bats out here now, so that's why it's a good play to build fire bats. He's just destroyed everything under this Dark Swarm, but now this lurker might do some damage. Oh no, he's running into lurkers.
I mean, he's got plenty of scans saving him to keep pushing through. As long as he doesn't overextend to a really bad spot, but 1 or 2 lurkers just in the open field isn't going to be enough to really do a whole lot here, I don't think.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage to these lurkers.
There's actually 2 science vessels just hanging out over the natural. That's a little interesting. Like, they don't have the energy to do an eraser, they're just kind of waiting to die.
Okay, once he gets 75 HP, he'll be able to do something. Oh, now he has 75 mana.
Well, looking at he's retreating from there, taking a 4th base up in the top left too, which, given how the pressure that's being put on by Sham 2, it's going to be hard to actually move out, but we just see a little group of Lings seeing if they can get something done.
That's a big group of Lings, I think. Maybe he's going out for a flank, or if he just tries to attack that 4th base. I don't know.
I would love for him to go for a 4th base, but it does look like he's trying to do a flank, the way it's all set up right now.
I gotta say, this Zerg is on 3 armor and 2 attack, which is pretty good upgrades, and the Terran's on 2/2. So both these players have upgraded really well this game, I would say.
Yeah, I wish I would. If you have this level of armor upgrades, so you get someone going massed fire bat marine, Ultralisks. We want to see some Ultralisk right now. Like, that's how you find your way through this.
There's the Ultralisk cavern. Let's see if we can hold on long enough.
Look at the front. We see some D-Matrix fire bats.
Those are dangerous, that's for sure. So here they come running in against these Zerglings. Oh, that one goes down pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, D-Matrix has a lot of shields. It's not infinite shields. This fight would actually go so much better for Ball, but he's not using that giant group of Lings. We're waiting a lot longer to
here it comes
through this.
Now this is important. You got to be able to time your flanks, because otherwise these. Okay, here he is. This is a pretty nice flank of just pure Lings, basically. So these Firebats should be cleaning house, but there's only a few Marines left now, and they're all gonna die to these Lurkers and Zerglings. Wow, what a decisive victory that was for Ball right there.
Absolutely, that worked out quite well for him. And you can see he has plenty of bank ready, so if he wants to build, and he is starting to get those Ultralisks, he's getting that armor upgrade. He's getting into that mid game that I like personally seeing. I love Ultralisks for Zerg. But we
Yeah,
do need to see him
definitely.
take more bases, though. This is the strategy that needs a lot of money. He needs to get more.
Well, he has plenty of money, but you're right. He's going to want more than just one round of Ultralisk. He's going to want to take more bases to keep that gas income high.
We do see a couple lanes moving up to that 12 o'clock base, but there's still plenty of Marines here. Actually surprised how many Marines are actually at this base to keep it safe. They've been there the whole time. That's like a whole control group work.
Yeah, Shampoo's done well, though, that he's taken and saturated these 4 bases now. And the Zerg might do well to saturate his 4th base.
Yeah, or you use the 4th base.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not making use of it yet. Shampoo did mine out his natural, though, and is about to mine out his main, so even though the base count looks the same, the actual income from them not as bad as it looks.
Yeah, and these Ultralisks being out and these Zerglings, if he had some kind of Defiler out here, he would be able to do a lot of damage to this little push that Shampoo's putting together. But Shampoo's reinforcing, he's got 3 BCs out now.
He has so many Ultralisks, but I'd still love to see if he
They're
had
all popping. Look at this.
But if you had like a Defiler for a Plague or a Darkstorm, like these Ultras would go from great to ridiculous. Even them just by themselves, this 6 armor, like these Marines ever kill these things.
Yeah, he timed it with that armor upgrade pretty well. So now he's able to just destroy this attack. He just needs to get some Scourge to deal with these Science Vessels and Battle Cruisers, and he can just pretty much push right into Shampoo's natural.
Do you actually go for Scourge against the Battle Cruisers? It takes so many to kill them. Do you actually just go Hydras instead?
Yeah, I guess it just depends. I think Scourge are just easier to use, right? You pretty much just build them and then get 6 and click on a BC. Where like maybe Hydras require a little bit more APM, but I guess it depends on the game.
Well, you're saying 6, but does 6 Scourge kill a BC? I thought you needed more than that.
I think it might need to be 6 hits, and the BC will take out 1 Scourge, but I don't know. I don't play Zerg.
Well, we do
These ultras are...
Yeah,
oh, and the Zerglings coming in from the back. Well, those BCs are doing some damage, though. They've taken out this hatchery on them.
Got a couple units going back to that 12. Really trying to keep pressure on 12, but unfortunately, Ball has not even looked at the top left yet. That undefended base would be so easy to kill, but he keeps going for the 12 instead. And we do got another group of army right at the front of the natural. Even though there's not a lot there, you see there's no lurkers right there. So finally gonna kill off these evo chambers. But they've done all the researching they need to do.
Yeah, another big round of Ultralisk popping out now. Well, in a minute here for the Zerg, but he's running out of his gas resources, it looks like. So he's gonna have to keep on his expanding and try to take the bottom left gases so he can keep producing his army, because Shampoo's not going to run out of resources. 2 bases and he's mining from them, or at least 2 mining bases, and he's just pumping out and BCs from his 3 starports. Actually, he has 4 starports now. And so that's just a ton of production from Terran and a ton of resources.
I mean, these ultras are going to do a good job cleaning up these schematic raid balls, but eventually, like, he's not going to be able to keep replenishing or dying more gas. So, Ball held on valiantly, but this is starting to look like the beginning of the end.
Well, we'll see for Terran. You really want to have a critical mass of Marines medics, and it looks like Shampoo is kind of just getting smaller groups, and they're dying a little bit. They're not trading as well as they could be. But here he is. Look, he's seen the 4th base. He's got his Marines and medic down there. And these drones are undefended. Yeah, there's really nothing over here. So this is very unfortunate. And there he is attacking that 12 base, which he must think is the only mining base for the Terran, and he must be like convinced, if I just take this out, then I'll win. But Terran's reinforcing here, and that bunker is getting mass repaired, so this feels bad for the Zerg right now. That's mass repair on that bunker. That's pretty sick, actually.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Ultras don't cleave through these units in this situation. This bunker is just never going to die.
Well, Ultras are pretty tanky. That's crazy.
Yeah, they have 6 armor. It's absurd. Very good units. But we do see Shamsu still
Oh,
has
they
a good
get the
chunk of
bunker.
armor.
Good for them, man.
Ah,
Okay.
I mean, the minor victory, the moral victory.
Yes.
So we see this giant squad
Oh,
from
no.
Shamsu moving down.
These lings are just coming in here a few at a time and just getting ripped apart. There's a lot of dead lings right there.
Yeah.
And yeah, here's Shamsu. He does have that army moving down to the bottom right. He's already doing a lot of damage to the bottom left.
No defenses down at 6 o'clock, so even just this one Valkyries are going to be able to really get something done. But Shamsu just kind of consolidating his forces. There's a link counterattack moving towards National, but there's plenty of Marines already there ready to kill that.
Wow, good game called by Ball.
Yeah. Ball held his own on that one.
Yeah, I actually really like that Terran play. The BCs, like especially that many, really cost the Zerg a lot of gas too, I think. And the Zerg just didn't have enough gas bases to like replenish his Scourge and his Defilers. Because after he lost those first Defilers, I don't even think he built more. He just went straight to Ultralisk.
Yeah, he never really replenished with the Defilers, it seemed like. So, like, I think that would have helped a lot. Like, one good plague on those, like, on these battle cruisers, maybe, or just even, like, a good play on the Marines, and then the Ultras just mow through them. So, Defilers, very powerful unit. You gotta try to work them into your Zerg play if you play Zerg.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. But that's all the replays for this group I got. Thank you for joining me for the cast. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for casting with me as well. Have a good one, guys.